Welcome, 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 everyone. Once again, this is Chef SK. I'm your host, Sean Kelly. And what else can I say? I came out swinging. 6-hour braised goat today. Nice, tangy, red cabbage slaw, little beet appetizer, tequila. Let's go. Today, the goat. So first I'm going to show you how we set up this goat here. We're going to be using a little bit of dark liquid. So we got balsamic, a little Worcestershire sauce. We have a dark stout here. We're using some fresh garlic, and we have a special rub that goes on the goat. We want to keep the warm spices in there. So we went with allspice, a little bit of coffee, a little bit of cumin, and then we have a little bit of brown sugar, salt and pepper in there as well. So first we're going to want to go down with your wet ingredients. We're gonna pop this out later on in the show like the old school cooking shows. 6 hours done, but it's gonna look like 20 minutes. So you got a little bit of your dark beer here. Got a little bit of your balsamic, this nice little tang. Worcestershire, got a little. And then we're gonna chop these garlics here. Just about 4 or 5 cloves. I did about 2 pounds of goat. When we'll bring it out later, I'll show you how that all heats up in the pan. But for right now, I'm just showing you on a small scale. So we're gonna crush up that garlic. About 2-3 cloves here. We're also gonna do just about a quarter of an onion for this much goat here. We're gonna save the other half of the onion for our red slaw that we're gonna be making. And that red slaw there is gonna be a little bit of Dijon, mostly mayo, some white vinegar, a tiny bit of brown sugar, and then we're gonna tie it in with the same rub that we go on the goat with. So sometimes when I braise, I actually do, I do pork ribs like this in the oven, and since the pork ribs would take more of 3 hours opposed to 5 or 6 like the goat, I would actually saute down the onions and garlic first. It really makes a nice paste, but I do want to take some of this liquid that the onions are going to give me to help when I go flip these about 3 hours in when we're in the oven there. So just is going to be rough chop on these onions. This is going to be covered. We're going to do this about 250, like I said, for 6 hours. You flip everything on the about the 3rd hour. We re-season everything, and then when it comes out and how we reheat, we add a little bit of the juice back, a tiny drop of balsamic, and a little bit more of the seasoning just to bring everything out. All right, so we have our garlic here, we have our onions chopped, we got our liquid down. Now we're going to go a little black pepper and salt as always. Like I said, we got our warm spices in here, coffee, little allspice, little cumin, little bit of brown sugar. Tiny bit of hot paprika plays with the brown sugar there, so we're looking for a balance. Also gonna have a little bit of brown sugar off to the side for your coleslaw, just to take a little bit of the edge off that white vinegar there. So let's, one hand for the goat, one hand for the salad, so let's get this rubbed up here. And sometimes you see people are really, they use a ton of liquid when they go braise something down. Now, when you use too much liquid, to me, it's more of a boil, and it really takes away from the meat. Almost gives it like a watered down type feel. So we just want a tiny bit in the pan. A little bit, because we're gonna gain all that moisture from when the onions start steaming up in there. So like I said, this is about 5 or 6 hours. Smells real nice with the acidity and the dark stout right here. So we're gonna cover this with tin foil, put this in the oven, check it in 3 hours. Like I said, 250 in there, and we'll get going on your slaw. So we're gonna take our red cabbage here, everybody. Red cabbage, my absolute favorite. This coleslaw dressing is really straightforward with the Dijon, mayo, little bit of white vinegar, but I want to show you how this spice rub on the goat works in a fresh salad like this. So probably just go about half. I think red slaw is very underused. We always talk about why coleslaw tastes the same no matter where you go. I use a white balsamic on this one sometimes if I like it a little bit lighter. Rice vinegar also works on something like this. So with slaw, with a cabbage as hard as this one, you're really going to want to set this up before the meal, because we're going to dress this, really rub it on up, and then dress right before we serve. So no carbs on this recipe. We're going to be drinking our calories a little bit later with our tequila cocktail. Just want a rough chop. So this red slaw is going to be going right under your goat. But first we're going to have a little beet appetizer. The beet appetizer has a little gorgonzola cheese. We have a little fresh arugula and toasted pumpkin seeds. Bring it together with a little bit of fresh thyme. We put it on some black pepper water crackers, so really nice. And we got our cabbage in. We're gonna go a little white onion. So just about half an onion on this one. You can go with red onion on this. I've done pickled shallots, anything. Really small on these ones here. Wanted to get it lost in this red cabbage. A version of this one is really close to me as well. We used to serve this on every platter back at my barbecue restaurant when we were looking at the beach all summer long. So near and dear, special to me. We got some new friends trying some goat today. I don't know if they've ever had it, but we're gonna show them the way. Goat you see a lot. You see Mexican goat soup, you see curry goat, but this one I really wanted to play almost like I would do beef ribs. So I like beef ribs with all the warm spices and the richness coming from the stout, the Worcestershire sauce, and a little tang from that balsamic there. Let's go about a 1/4 cup of onion. All right, so we're gonna get our slaw dressing mixed up here. It's gonna be about 2 to 1. You're gonna go mayo to your white vinegar there. Little bit of brown sugar in here. Got a tiny bit of Dijon. Salt and pepper as usual. Tie it all in. I did this with a barbecue rub back when we had it at the restaurant, which I showed some of my barbecue rub on the previous barbecue chicken episode. All right, so we're gonna blend this up, give this a taste. Consistency looks good. All right, we're gonna see how we did on this dressing. A little bit too tangy. We're gonna go a little bit more mayo and a little bit more sugar. Spice is coming through a little bit. It's nice that allspice kind of comes through. A little bit of cumin. Now, tasting your slaws right off the bat with a cabbage that has this much girth to it. All right, so roll this up on your slaw here and taste it in about an hour, see how it's coming, see if you need to add anything, but then we're gonna dress it right before we put our goat down. So a little bit thicker, it's looking how I like it. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. So let's dress it a little bit, roll this up, and we'll set it up in the fridge actually. About half of your dress in there. Always a little more salt and pepper right on the cabbage. And this one's a nice one. You need something fresh like this on your plate when you are eating something as rich as the goat, so. Massage, massage. just like you would your kale. A little bit more of this goat seasoning. All right, so let's set this up in the fridge. I'm gonna show you an amazing beet appetizer, and we have a tequila cocktail, which is to die for, so stay tuned. Snacks and tequila and snacks, however you want to call it. We are doing today a nice little beet appetizer. It's kind of like a beet dip held together with some gorgonzola cheese. We have some roasted beets on this side. In my hand, I actually have some toasted pumpkin seeds that we'll be busting up in a little bit. Let these cool. And we're gonna fold in a little chopped arugula, a little bit of salt and pepper. We're gonna put them on top of these black pepper water crackers. We're gonna move right into your pineapple tequila cocktail, but let's get some of these beets chopped up. So first we're just gonna put these pumpkin seeds in a little dish, let these cool off here. So we're gonna let these pumpkin seeds cool off a little bit, bust these up, and then fold them in at the very end. Let's get some of our beets chopped up over here. I did cheat on this one. I was saying before, there's some things in the world, I mean, come on, rice cookers, beets that are already roasted, good thing. So we're just really gonna rough chop these because what we're going to do is just kind of blend everything with our hands and get it to the consistency we want. So this sweetness here, you get a little stank of this gorgonzola cheese, a little bit of the nuttiness with the arugula here, chopped small. Then we're gonna do a little bit of fresh thyme just to freshen things up just a little bit. So these are actually the same black pepper water crackers that we did as a crouton on our barbecue chicken episode. So let's say we got about cup and a half, 2 cups of the beets there. Let's fine chop some arugula. Sometimes I do this one, actually, I'll saute the arugula off first. That adds another element. Sometimes I use fresh and roasted. I've done this one with Gruyere cheese. I've done this one fresh parsley. And I've also done this one with beet greens if I'm roasting the beets myself. It adds a really nice sharpness to this dish. But today, like I said, arugula, the beets, gorgonzola, a little bit of thyme, and the pumpkin seeds that I just roasted off before. So just about a half cup of the gorgonzola. We're gonna chop that pretty fine as well. We're gonna hit this with a little bit salt and pepper, and then we'll bust up our toasted pumpkin seeds that we got. This is nice to do a snack. I had done my pot brown rice on some previous ones. You know I'm a big salad guy, big sauce guy, but this one's nice as just a little, probably about 4 on a plate for everybody to snack on while we're tasting some tequila. So, all right, we have a little bit salt and pepper down on here. Sometimes if you want to loosen this up a little bit, I even do a little bit of a neutral oil. We did do the pumpkin seeds and a little bit of olive oil, but if you want to get this a little smoother, a little creamier, you could always hit it with a little grapeseed oil, a little sunflower oil, whatever you want. This is similar to dressings that I've done. So I've done toasted sunflower seeds, toasted cashews that I blend back into, adds a nice layer to a salad dressing, kind of toasty notes. So this one here is the same kind of idea. I'll tell you, with these roasted nuts and these roasted seeds though, they half the time they don't even make it into my dips, into my dressing, because it's something nice to snack on while you're going. But all right, salt and pepper is down, arugula's in, got our cheese. We'll hit it with a little fresh thyme at the end, but let's get mixing this up. So this is this is reminding me of something that I'll be doing as far as I got a beet burger coming out, so that's gonna be one of our vegan episodes. But I guess the same way we're gonna be binding things up, so it'll be fun. Getting into a good consistency. It's looking like I'm probably gonna wanna add a little bit more cheese just for a little bit, to stick this together a little bit more, but we're almost there. All right, so this is looking good. Let's see how we did. Pop my glove off here. All right, now super balanced. There's a little bit of the nuttiness. You got the sweetness from the beets. Salt and pepper brings it all out, and then that arugula adds that little bit of freshness. Let's hit it with a little thyme, and we'll get to plating them. All right, so we'll probably do about, these crackers are looking a little smaller, so let's do about 5 for a plate. Let's get these plated on up. Nice rustic little dip that we got here. So we got a little cocktail coming. Fresh pineapple that we're gonna be pureeing into some Reposado tequila, a little bit of elderflower liqueur here, Saint Germain, and then a homemade yerba mate kombucha from my days in the booch world. So let me get the rest of these plated up and we'll get that cocktail going for you. So I'm already loose. I had a few of these cocktails before I left this morning, but we'll get to that in just a second. I'm finishing up our beet appetizer here. We finished off with a little bit of pumpkin seeds, a little salt and pepper on these here. And Starleet and Gina, thank you guys for joining me. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, so here we go. A little bit of, enjoy. A little bit of sweetness here from the beets, a little bit of stank from the gorgonzola, yeah, and then the nuttiness with the pumpkin. So enjoy that. We're gonna start going on some cocktails here. I'll try mine in just a bit. So cocktails today, what we're going to be doing is pureeing down some of this pineapple here. We're gonna be straining it through our nut milk bag, and then we're gonna be adding it to our mixture of Reposado tequila, which Reposado is kind of in the middle of the road. What do you think? Yeah, pretty cool. And it just kind of goes away with that cracker in there. You don't need much, but yeah, you don't want to take away from the dip is good, right? Cool, right? So as I was saying, the Reposado is kind of middle of the road for tequila, so it's not as crisp as a silver tequila, and it doesn't have that añejo feel where it is aged in barrel. So this is kind of the middle, kind of where I like it. That this Saint Germain here is elderflower liqueur. That is going to add just a hint of sweetness, and then special homemade yerba mate kombucha. So you said you haven't had kombucha before, so this adds a little bit of tang. Kombucha is a little tart, little sweet, a little bit of bubbly, but this one has a nice little smokiness with it from the yerba mate tea. I had the Fine Health was actually my company. We were the largest in New Jersey, but I have an amazing opportunity to launch a high alcohol kombucha, so stay tuned. That's Memorial Day and beyond, so it's gonna be a fun one. So let's go about, we're gonna do about 2 cups of pineapple here, just rough chop. So if you were to put sometimes you could just do this with water. I have a celery drink that I'm doing soon, but if you do this with just water, it might dilute it a little bit. So that's why we're gonna use the yerba mate and keep it full flavor, so. Not too much, because this does have a little bubble to it too, so it could get crazy. Sometimes I froth up all my cocktails. I did a couple nice ones that it comes out really frothy, but for this one, we're just gonna add this froth at the very end, so. And I don't have my garnish out here, but star fruit garnish, so a little something to cleanse the palate, yeah. Okay, so you're gonna blend up your pineapple here. You can have a little glass mixing bowl here. Get your nut milk bag out, and we're gonna strain right through. Tricks in the kitchen that make you look good. But yeah, this stuff is so potent. So a little health aspect in here with the kombucha. The kombucha actually takes about 15 days to make. Yeah, it's a culture that goes in. It's bacteria, yeast, and it ferments off the sugar. There is a residual alcohol, but it makes all the lactobacillus, all the good stuff for the gut, so. All right, so we have our strained pineapple here. We're gonna do chop our little star fruit up. Something nice to chew on, star fruit garnish. I've actually adapted this recipe here sometimes the same way I toasted those pumpkin seeds for here. If you grill this star fruit and then bring it in, it works with the smokiness of the tequila, it really works. Grilled pineapple into a drink, I mean, then you're really impressing friends, you know? All right, so we're gonna go just 1 star fruit per glass here. All right, we got our star fruit garnish down. We're gonna be adding our tequila first. Then we're gonna be going in with the yerba mate kombucha, splash of Saint Germain, splash of pineapple, bottoms up. This is Espolón tequila. I like all different kinds of brands tequila. And like I said, Reposado. Sometimes I do like the little bit smokier, a little bit more barrel aged, but mezcal is a little too much for me, so. All right, little elderflower never hurt. Oh, it's gorgeous. I only aspire to look as good as Saint Germain. And little pineapple, little creamy. And there you go. Oh, you did good on the beats. All right, let's sip some of these cocktails. I'm gonna start rolling up my coleslaw back here and get you plated some goat. Cheers to the Bronx one night. Yes, very good. Done and done. I'll be finishing up, and it's cool, right? Oh, a first-time butcher. That's what we used to call them. I said I used to want to be the Fine Health Butchers and get a jersey, but yes, it's right. Thank you guys for coming. You're gonna love the goat. Cocktails good, doing good? Yeah? We're gonna finish you guys up. We're gonna roll up our red slaw and a little bit more of the dressing. This dressing here, a little bit of Dijon mustard, white vinegar, mayo, and then I tied it in with the same seasoning that we used on the goat. So I try to show how seasoning could work on something fresh and then something as rich as the goat. So let's mix this up. Nice tangy slaw with the richness of the goat. Goes really well together. We'll salt, pepper everything at the end. We have our goat heating up back here. What's nice about such a long braise, a 6-hour braise, is that you get all that goat au jus. So the next day, that's how you heat it up. It's almost like it's been marinated the second time. So a little of that seasoning, and that's it. All right, nice tangy slaw. We're kind of gonna lay the goat just alongside. Yep. All right, we always drizzle one more time. Are you a goat first timer too? Oh, yeah, okay. And what style did you have it? Like where did you have it?
A friend of mine.
Okay.
Cuban.
Cuban, yes. Oh, I used to hit up Corona Queens all the time. Oh my God, I knew nothing about it until I was up there. But them stops on the train, it's crazy. So you don't see goat that often. You might see a curried goat or maybe a Mexican goat soup, but I did my own little take on it. So we have, on mine, I do a little balsamic vinegar, I do a little Worcestershire sauce, and I actually do a dark beer. So the beer helps break down the meat just a tiny bit, but all those three, they work well together. It's a little tough to eat, you know, it's a little bit of using your hand, it's a little bit of sucking it off the bone, but that's why we do it down for 6 hours, so it really is pull apart there, yep. A little bit of our seasoning. This one here, I went with the warm spices, so we got a little coffee actually in here, a little allspice, cumin, and then salt, pepper, garlic, so. And this is you. I'll get you some extra napkins, and yeah, enjoy. Very good. Oh, came super nice, super rich, but it's important to hit it again with all your sauce, hit it again with the rub, because it loses it. But yeah, let me know what you think about the red slaw next to the goat. Yeah?
Nice and soft.
Yeah, yeah. And we put onions and garlic down with the goat. If I were to do ribs that only, say like beef ribs or something that only take about 3 hours, I would saute the onions and garlic first, but I want the moisture.
Nice and soft.
Isn't it cool? Yeah, the moisture from the raw onions and garlic help out when you're braising, so. All right, so keep on eating. I think we did it to it. Honestly, I'm happy you guys came here. I'm glad you're a first timer, first time butcher, a first time goat connoisseur, and really cool, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Now it's a delicious meal.
You got it. All right, so it looks like done and done on this one. I'm gonna get these cocktails cleaned up. Today I was super happy to introduce some new things to my guests, some new things to all of you. We got the goat. I don't know about the greatest of all time, but we've got pretty damn close. You ain't gotta be the greatest, just be the best you. Until next time, everybody, stay blessed. I'll see y'all soon.